So good morning, good afternoon, or evening, wherever you're hearing this. This is the first official episode of the Mellow podcast. And here with me today is who I considered a son to me for a very long time. This is Dylan Gieselmann. It's good to have you, man. Good to have you.
It's good being here.
Good to have you in the apartment or multimedia room, as I call it. Just wanted to tell you guys that today's episode is not sponsored by Clear American Lime Seltzer Water or Lean, as Dylan is drinking. So, man, it has been since Christmas since I saw you.
Yeah.
And we tore up some freaking Waffle House on Christmas, boy. When I was on night shift, I was having such a hard time, like, only eating Waffle House because McDonald's, I think, causes cancer. So I told them, I was like, "Yo, you're not gonna see me on Christmas." And then, of course, me and my child here both busted up.
Waffle House was so packed.
Yo,
that day,
I know,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure there was only like one or two booths when we walked in, and everybody was at the.
And
water.
I'm like 70% sure that that they hired some crackheads off the street just to help out for the day.
Except for my boy Yoshi.
Yo, Yosh. Shout out to Yoshi. Yeah. Dude, Yoshi is taking care of it at Southside.
He's taking over.
I am telling you, he said, "Hey, come here." How can you take somebody serious that ain't got his front teeth?
He's got it together.
I'm telling you, he's a good guy. Great guy. Here, let's straighten this up a little bit. There we go. Ooh. All right, so since we have spoken, I have kind of started to understand what you do a little bit as far as your job goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you enjoying it?
It's fun. It's just so aircraft mechanic at Fort Rucker. If you're local, you know what that is. I'm not gonna go into super details, but everyone knows Fort Rucker. We don't do nothing, whatever. But on my crew, you know, we're unscheduled maintenance, so if we don't have work called in, we don't do anything, pretty much. Right. So that's all I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know.
Apache mechanic.
See, a little known detail about us is that we bond in the fact that we both worked at Walmart's.
God.
And we don't work at Frou Frou Walmart like our buddy Clay does. Yeah. Clay works at Frou Frou Walmart.
Fake Walmart.
Frou Frou Walmart.
Yeah.
He works.
I wish I could have drove a forklift.
That's what Clay is basically when you go to prison for like tax evasion.
Yeah, you got it made.
Yeah, we were in federal prison. Clay's up there driving forklift, making like 15.
No, we were in the county jail. He was in the federal prison. You know, they get TVs and stuff.
Yeah, we were with Bubba, and he was in a living room on a couch playing Fortnite.
I'm not gonna say which Walmart it was though. Never know who's listening. So.
Absolutely not. See, I actually worked at the Abbeville Walmart. I don't know if Abbeville has one. So, talking about Fortnite, man, what would you consider? And these are not questions that I just wrote for the podcast. This is stuff that like I legit want to know about you, right? What's your favorite game ever, right?
Favorite game of all time? Call of Duty Black Ops 2, 100%.
Exactly. That's what I figured you were going to say. But for some reason, and we're going to get to this in a little bit because I still ain't over it, Drake is your favorite, but we'll get to that. That's what I was expecting you to say. Some weird crap like Halo 3. Like, I know that you played Halo at one point, but it's like, I don't know, dude, that Drake. But anyways, the reason I bring that up is because I was watching a video last night, and it was like the most controversial moments in Smash Brothers history or whatever, and this dude is straight fighting, and he steps on his cord and unplugs the controller. So out of courtesy, the opponent pauses the game, and that's a fault. The dude plugs his controller back in, and is like, all right, that's it. He wanted to take the win because the dude paused the game. The dude who unplugged his freaking controller.
No.
Yeah. And I have never, since I've been watching competitive games, ever seen the, like, who's the people that announce? What do you consider that? Commentator, I guess?
Yeah. Announcer.
Yeah. The commentators were yelling at the dude. they were like saying, I have never seen something so more disrespectful. Shame on you. Boo!
Wait, was this like Professional?
Yeah, like professional, like
I thought you were talking about like
just some
here,
bros.
like,
No,
yeah.
no, it was like on TV, like broadcasted. They were playing for money, and the dude, like, I don't know what happened. Like the clip kind of ends in an awkward way, but like basically what happened was they ended up just playing it out, which is what everybody wanted him to do in the first place. But I thought that was so bananas. So when Dylan used to play, he actually, I would say, I always tell people you were semi-pro because you played competitively and you were decent. I fell asleep watching you play a lot of nights at my mom's house. What was keeping you from trying to become competitive?
Taking it back to my nerd days.
Yeah, dude.
But just age. You know,
Yeah.
my parents didn't agree with it, and I totally understand. If I was them, I wouldn't have agreed with it either.
Yeah.
Like
That and probably internet
and,
speed
and
too.
exposure and internet speed. That's a lot to do with it. Like
I will say.
to be, you don't have to be the best, but you have to be known.
Yeah.
And you get known by being the best. But
Yeah.
whatever.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah. You
Kind of
have
like
to-
building credit.
Like now, Fortnite players, for example, you do not have to be good at all.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this might be controversial.
Oh,
not
sweet
gonna
Jesus.
not gonna hint at anybody, but there's a certain streamer that streams from France that I don't think is very good, but he has a very big following as it is, and he's probably the best sniper in the game, but he's just not that good. Obviously better than me. I never play, and he's bringing in some money, but it's he
Yeah.
has the following.
I think it's dangerous to like imagine like how different you would be now if you had like signed to a pro team. How different your personality would be had you grown up in that community. Like that's who you would have learned from, not like TJ Dorn and Ralphie, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't have been as good of friends with them, but
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of those pros or whatever, so they love Call of Duty. Like, I'll base this off of Black Ops 2. Every one of those pros loved the game, and then they finished out their Black Ops 2 career, went on to the next game, Advanced Warfare, I think, and then the next game, and Call of Duty started dying, as in Advanced Warfare, awful game, and you see a lot of them try to branch out of just Call of Duty. They want to make more content, and I don't know if I would have rode that wave, and I probably would have died out really soon.
Yeah.
So
Agreed, man. You really didn't. After BO2, I mean, we kind of casually played, like, was MW3 before?
it was MW3 and then Black Ops 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, Call of Duty was hitting their freaking stride, dude. Because MW3, I think, is my favorite COD. That's not BO2. And obviously, since this is the first podcast, we should both preface that we both played Call of Duty semi-professionally. I played.
You can say that. But
Yeah, I played competitive zombies. So does that thing keep slipping? Oh man.
Yeah, kinda.
It's
I
all
really
right.
don't know why, but
It's all right,
whatever.
though. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
But I honestly, at the same time, while saying that it could be dangerous to say that a kid could grow up, like even in the Fortnite community, because they're mildly toxic in the Fortnite community, just like every other video game community. If you beat somebody, you're bad.
Mhm.
how
You're
it-
trash.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, we had a couple of booty heads in my community, but for the most part, everybody was super supportive, other than one guy with 64 in his name. So, what media are you consuming lately? Since it's been so long since we talked, are you watching like cable TV? You watching Twitch? What are?
Netflix only.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much. Well, I watch YouTube religiously, obviously. Not as much as you, I don't think. But I
Yeah.
have my
Yeah.
set YouTubers that I watch like every day
Yeah,
or whatever.
I do too.
And
My list just takes 6 hours to consume.
yeah,
one
see,
years
I
of-
ain't got that.
Yeah,
No.
dude. My buddy that just moved down there, she has started watching. She's started watching like nothing but Mr. Beast. And while I appreciate the things that Mr. Beast does, and he gets stupid money. It's just at some point it's all just mindless to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his videos are just like set up. Sometimes delivers on the clickbait, and sometimes he doesn't, and it's just hard to watch that all day.
Yeah.
Like we I mean we have a very devout group of friends that we've all been hanging out with since Dylan was probably in 8th grade or some crap.
That's accurate.
And we all religiously watch Good Mythical Morning and Rhett and Link on YouTube. And honestly, watching their Ear Biscuits has kind of inspired me a little bit to record our conversations. Not that this podcast is directly inspired or trying to imitate or copy anybody whatsoever. Listening to them just talk like friends has just inspired me, because I'd say like maybe once or twice every couple months I'll call Dylan and we'll talk for like 2 hours on the phone.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it's about like pointless stuff, but it's interesting stuff.
And it's not private conversations.
Yeah, absolutely
so there's, like,
not.
No
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, it's generic subjects that I think we can deliver an interesting perspective on, because we're kind of like Beavis and Butthead. We're so different, but we work together so well.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, Dylan is gorgeous. I've always kind of been the more intellectual of the two. And then, as I'm sure at some point in the future we will later find, that our other best friend, Clay, is what we consider the muscle of the group. Yeah. So you got the brains, the beauty, and we'll later find the muscle. But GMM is pretty much the media that I think everybody can kind of meet in the middle on, you know what I mean? Because it's good for family.
Yeah,
like, they never cuss.
Yeah.
And everything that they do is just so fun to freaking watch. And they've been on YouTube since like 2006, I think. Yeah.
The How to Taco, How to Cereal, all those.
I'm
are
telling
the best, you know?
You remember, what? Did you know that Mitzi died, by the way? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, dude, no.
Tragic.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's my grandmother's dog.
Last time I went over there, Mitzi was still running around, and I feel sad now.
Yeah, that's pretty bums. But bums, what the?
How?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think she just died,
Dang.
because like an owl picked her up a couple of years ago
Yeah.
or whatever. But the reason I say that is because I was watching Good Mythical Morning like right when I found him. Dad was still alive when I found Rhett and Link, and my mom walked in from Barrel Room one night. It's a bar, and she walked in and she said, "What are you watching?" And she always claims to be from Massachusetts. She literally is, but she has no accent. But she walked in and she said, "Does Mitzi Taco?" And I said, "Bro, no." But what do you think specifically made BO2 the best Call of Duty, just to kind of get back on what we were talking about?
There was no bullcrap in the game. Like, there were no holes in the game hardly, except for, speaking for the competitive community exclusively.
Chairman, what's up?
The FAL select fire. That was like the only thing that was broken.
That's where you go from burst to single fire,
Yeah.
right?
Or it's burst.
And you could do
single
that
fire.
in competitive?
Yeah, you could.
Really?
Well, no, back then I think it was either single fire or automatic, and it was insane. And
you can make the FAL automatic,
yeah.
And the bullets do so much damage.
It only took like 2 or 3 bullets to kill somebody normal. And if you had a
Jesus.
trigger finger, you didn't need select fire.
And that is what is killing me. Like, Clay, and I know that you even played it a little bit. And once again, just to make sure that you guys know, Clay is our other third. So you'll hear us talk about him all the time. We three have been the three amigos our entire lives. Mm-hmm. But I know that you and Clay got into the new Modern Warfare or whatever, and like literally yesterday my boss came up and he was talking about how he's been playing Warzone is what it's called, the new thing, and he literally is talking from the perspective of a freaking dad, so it makes even more sense. But like he said, he walked up on 3 dudes and they're just sitting in the ground, and he started shooting them, and they got up and killed him. They're laying there sniping, and he walks up spraying them, and they have enough time to get up and kill him because of the freaking shield and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, Blackout was way worse to me with how the guns were set up and
which is
the
sad.
amount of shield. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I only played Blackout a few times, but there's levels of shield,
Yeah.
which is not fair at all.
No,
like,
yeah.
I get it's RNG, but that's what it comes down to
Yeah.
is, I found a level 3 shield. You found a level 1. We
Yeah.
have the same gun, same aim, everything. I win. So
it's so buns,
Yeah.
dude. And it disappoints me that Treyarch made an inferior game because we hold Treyarch
dude,
to such a high
I was just about to say that. Treyarch always does it better, in my opinion.
BO4,
but Blackout was awful.
yeah,
And then Warzone's amazing. Besides, I haven't ran into it a whole lot, but I see Ninja and Tim and all them saying it. There's a lot of hackers. There's a lot of aimbotters, and I see Nick Merckx posting about it too. But the jetpacks, Infinity Ward made Advanced Warfare. Was that the first one?
Yep, number one.
And then Treyarch made Black Ops 4, and Black Ops 4 is the best jetpack game, other than
BO3. BO4 didn't have jetpacks.
Oh, Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Black Ops
I was just
3.
making sure, because I haven't played any Call of Duty.
Yeah,
game.
Black Ops 3 was the best jetpack game.
Absolutely.
And
I
Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare were terrible, both terrible in my opinion.
Dude, I was mad addicted to BO3. You remember maybe the once
Shadows
or twice?
of Evil.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the freaking loot box system.
Yeah, you and Clay used to play that.
I think I spent probably $2,000 on that game, gambling for black market weapons. And then they said the M16 was going to be the last one. Got it, made a YouTube video, all DLC weapons, and then something else came out. And I quit. I was like, no more. Nope. I ain't falling for this
They
anymore.
just saw people were putting money in,
Yep.
putting money in, putting money in.
Yep.
Fortnite did insane with the microtransactions, though.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can argue about having skins. I mean, what does that hurt? You know what I mean?
Nobody's ever going to make as much money off microtransactions as Fortnite either.
Yeah, and they didn't break the game with them. Like,
no, like it was not a pay to win.
Mm-mm.
It was just pay to look good.
Yep.
That's all it was.
Yep, pay to flex. So let's kind of move on from video games just so we don't lose all of the mom and dads who may be listening. So recently, everybody kind of went through this little thing where we made little pop quizzes for to see who knows your best friend the best. And the funny thing to me is that almost always some random person that hardly knows you, dude, freaking Matt, my buddy in Ohio, shout out to Matt, even though you worship the devil now or whatever. I don't know.
We don't know. Bro.
Hey, we don't know. We just see. No, you talking about the devil all the time. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But he is actually who got like a 9 on my quiz. How? I mean, I've never been able to feel his warm embrace in person. Like, I've only ever talked to him on, Xbox Live. Yeah. You know how we met? Talking crap on Guitar Hero 3. But
I can beat fire.
yeah, he said, "No, you can't, dude." I like hooked up a VCR to my Xbox or however we did screen caps when I was like 15. But you had a question that I don't think you're being true to yourself.
It's accurate.
about.
I don't care what he
Listen, dude. So I had a BS question on mine, and I basically did it for him. Just it was the hardest question ever because I only listened to like 3 or 4 bands, and I put all of them in. Who's my favorite band? And
No, you said who has the most songs that I enjoy.
yeah.
That was the.
It was who's my favorite band, and then a hint, who has the most
Oh,
songs
yeah,
that
yeah.
I enjoy. And he guessed wrong. Called me big mad about it, boy. Ooh, he was big. He said, "What kind of crap is this?"
Well, Clay can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Clay probably got it right though.
I don't know. I never talked to him
The
about.
answer was Say Anything, Out of Say Anything, Bad Sons, North Lane, and A Mice and Men.
Yeah.
And that's pretty hard. I didn't really think about it at first. I was like, who's my favorite band,
Yeah.
not who has the most songs that I enjoy. So
Right.
I immediately said Bad Sons.
Yeah.
And
And like honestly, all of those answers are fair. Like
Yeah.
Bad Son, I would accept Bad Sons or North Lane. Of Mice and Men, it's kind of like a
Rocky.
yeah. It's off to the
Just
side.
because it's older.
Yeah, they used to be balling.
Yeah.
Like if you caught me in 2012, 2013 when the flood had just got reissued. I bought the Flood reissue at Hot Topic, dude. The CD. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how long ago that crap came out. I definitely probably say Mice and Men. But, of course, that was before North Lane Node. But that'll forever be the debate, which one's better, North Lane Node or Mice and Men, The Flood. I mean, it'll always be a debate. Cause
it's kind of not, but it is.
Because
I think you're talking about The Flood with reissue and everything.
Yeah, dude.
I think The Flood wins, but Node is such, like, it's so well-rounded.
Yes,
like, The
dude.
Flood has really top-heavy songs, and then they have really balanced songs.
Yeah.
And then they have the acoustic one, My Understandings, which is amazing. So, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. Because of Mice and Men's record, I mean, it's definitely got... They both have themes, but I'd say that of Mice and Men is definitely more straight metal. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I just respect to the fact that North Lane has a position that they're trying to push. They have an agenda. They're like, hey, how about we stop being so bad to the earth, or we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a message.
And of Mice and Men is like, I love you.
They just like making music.
Yeah. But
Used to.
yep, used to. Yeah. So I just don't understand how you can say that Drake is your favorite over freaking Logic, you psychopath.
I
dude.
should have prefaced it like you did and said who has more songs that I
Yeah.
enjoy. But favorite artist, and I'm including like personality outside of music and everything, I probably should have put Logic. But more songs that I enjoy, Drake, 100%.
Yeah, you prefaced it the same way that I did, which kind of isn't fair, but it's the most fair way at the same time.
Yeah.
Because Dylan basically has been on Logic since before it was cool to be on Logic.
Oh, yeah. I never in my life heard anyone talk about it. And I know we live in Hartford or whatever.
Yeah.
But social media, nothing. I never heard anyone say anything about Logic.
Me
thanks
neither.
to FaZe Clan.
Yeah, I know. He put Under Pressure on one of those montages, wasn't it?
No, he put, I think it was FaZe Pomage. Is he? I don't know if he's in FaZe anymore. He switches back and forth all the time.
It's cool that they just let him do it. He's just so good.
But he put old song too. It was As I Am by Logic, and it's not even that good of a song.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I dove deeper on SoundCloud, I think it was SoundCloud, and I fell in love with my favorite album is definitely Under Pressure, but
For sure.
close second is Young Sinatra. It's Welcome to Forever. That's all I know. That which isn't an album, it's a mixtape.
Yeah. I've listened to it.
It's amazing.
It is so good, dude. And then he started kind of redoing some of his songs from...
Yeah, he would sample old songs.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty cool, too. I mean, it's kind of whack, but
yeah,
just like come up with something original. But people always say that Logic has been stealing people's flows since he started. Like,
I've never heard a flow like Logic's, but I don't listen to a broad range of
and you also
artists.
aren't into like analysis of every single part of your life either, like I am.
Yeah.
But there was a dude that was doing like side by side Kid Cudi and Logic, like flows, and they were the exact
Well, I
same.
can understand that because he said Kid Cudi is like one of the reasons he's in music.
Kid Cudi is still to the day probably our most fondly shared musical entity.
He's one of the most influential hip hop artists, I would say.
Yeah, I freaking love Kid Cudi, dude.
Kid Cudi.
I'm telling you, especially his older stuff. I don't really know what he's been doing lately.
I don't either. I think he's just getting his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, I know that he went to rehab a couple years ago, but it's still so weird that him and Kanye made music together to me. It's just
like Kanye is so big,
Yeah.
and everybody knows Kid Cudi because of Day and Night,
Yeah.
and then Pursuit of Happiness because of Project X. Is it Project X? Is
Which
that
one?
the movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the pursuit.
Everybody knows it because of that movie.
Yeah.
And no one else knows any other songs.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
And if you've heard another song, it was probably... I really don't even know.
I haven't heard any other song in media like at all, but I mean, basically, if you have any interest in Pursuit of Happiness, I wouldn't necessarily say Day and Night because a lot of his stuff isn't exactly like that. But if you have any interest in Pursuit of Happiness, look the dude up.
Yeah. Man on the Moon
Yeah.
is it? That's the original Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I think so.
Man on the Moon 2 is good too, but
But he's almost comparable, and they're not the same genre of music, but how impactful it could be is like Drake's early stuff. Like it impacted me as much as like young Drake has impacted the people that I know that love Drake. But
equivalent is probably, which I'm not saying that these are equal to each other
terms
of music, but in
impact,
terms of impact, Man on the Moon and Take Care is really close, I feel like.
Is that the one?
Take Care's got a lot of slow songs. It's got
you know how I am. I need what's the
headlines.
album cover
It's got
look
headlines.
like?
It's got him sitting in the dark room.
Yeah.
And he's got like the champagne wine holder.
Yeah. I definitely. And the funny thing is that I think Man on the Moon 2 has a similar album cover. You know, Kid Cudi's sitting in.
He's sitting in a dark room on a chair.
Yeah, they look very similar.
Yeah.
So we had to go by Walmart just a few minutes ago, and I was gonna originally go by Best Buy. To get a cable so that I could hook my camera up at a different angle so that you guys could see our face while we were doing the podcast. And it's weird. Just everything is so weird. And can you imagine, bro, investing in like a business and then like right when you're starting to try and do your renovations and start investing in getting the place working again? I'm specifically talking about the place that's next to the Walmart by where I live. You know, they have that. Ryan's was over there, and yeah. Can you imagine investing in getting a place built and fixed, and the apocalypse hits like this, dude?
Yeah.
But what's killing me is how dismissive. It's like the older that you get, the more dismissive of what's going on people are. Like
no one knows what to do because I see so many people like. Especially older generations.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll say, it's the media, blah, blah, blah. But then why would the CDC be taking all these precautions, you know?
And if everything was totally transparent, people communicated, and by people I mean like people in power communicated, other than stuff that wasn't serious, then maybe this would be a little bit easier because, like, I don't know what I can and can't trust because people are trying to push agendas both on the left and the right side, you know what I mean? And I have absolutely no opinion of like, what do I think about, you know, how all this is being handled or whatever, or who may be up to it. But I just, if up to this point, folks had been communicating a little bit better, I think that this entire situation would be easier to come to terms with. Because the first thing about this is coming to terms saying, okay, this is serious. Maybe I shouldn't be buying chicken fingers right now. You know what I mean?
Let's buy some soup, you know, something like that.
But it was crazy going into the Walmart because, like, they were tallying how many people were in the freaking store and how many people were leaving. I mean, it just puts things into terms, and I went by Best Buy first, and there was, like, people coming up to the door and, like, taking orders to go shop for you. It's just,
pick up.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess. It's just freaking weird, bro.
I don't know.
But I just don't how do you think this is going to end? What do you have any idea? What do you think?
I'm going to base my opinion off of what, I don't know if it was the CDC or some other WHO.
Credible source.
I don't know if it was WHO or what. But,
oh, yeah. I just saw WHO for the first time.
But I don't know if it was them or what. But they say that it's going to plateau, like, in the summer. And then we're going to have another round of it in the fall. So that's the word. And I can see where they're coming from. Because there's always going to be somebody left that has it. That didn't go to the hospital, and they're like, oh, other people or it's getting a lot less in numbers, I'm going to go out. And then they're going to infect somebody else. It's just going to happen again. Yeah.
It's
so the government or our job, whatever, they don't know what to do because I think China. It was one of them where they cut off everything for 4 or 5 weeks, and they're good. Like, they're doing solid now. And us, like my work, it's we go to work for a week, and then we get off a week. Which
that's
I'm
what we're doing,
I'm
too.
off this week, but it doesn't help anything.
Yeah.
Because what the incubation time is 2 weeks?
Yeah, 14 days. Yep.
Just not doing a thing. And I understand we have to make mission, or the company's going to lose money. They're going to have to fire people. But it's tough to say what they should do.
Yeah.
I get paid to do what they tell me to do. Not,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not judge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just nervous that it's never going to go away. I mean, like, it just feels like if you get sick, then you get over it, stay home for a little bit, don't infect anybody, then you go out, you get re-sick, then you get people sick.
You can get it multiple times. I think that's the crazy thing. You can just keep getting it.
Yeah.
Like, you may be healthy, but who wants to just
like
be sick?
How do we stop getting perpetually sick unless they enforce a 14-day total quarantine?
Total, like, in your house, you can only go on your property.
If they're going to do that, stop playing around about money. Like, just end this.
Yeah.
And that's why something is sketching me out. What power would not just say, okay, here's $1,600 just to pay your rent, and in case we need to, extend it, pay your rent 2 times.
China.
Yeah, China. Pay your rent twice, and then lock everybody up. If you're out, you're getting arrested.
It's 1 month.
Yes.
Which I understand is a lot of money. Everybody's mortgages and
businesses,
truck payments, businesses, all their stuff will be put on hold.
Yeah.
But
people aren't
risk?
Yeah. People aren't going to die.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, I work in healthcare. I'm probably going to work no matter what. But, like, seriously cut it off. Like, if you suffocate it, it won't grow. Yeah. Like, unless I mean, they're just lock everybody up. And if people are walking around or driving around, like, all these fast food places, it don't matter. People shouldn't be leaving their home. Like, lock it up.
Yeah.
But, man, and it's just like there's so many conspiracies that kind of line up with that too, that are just so sketchy, bro. Like the what do they call it? It's like chaos actors or whatever for like the same people are at 9/11 and Sandy Hook or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like,
somebody was talking in the break room at work the other day, and you know how this goes. You hear it's like, just like the damn barbershop talk, whatever. But they were saying how they, as in China, just arrested a Chinese man, I think, for, like, carrying the virus, like, in a van or something like that, delivering it to people. That's the rumor. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere, social media, nothing. So
see, that'd make me feel better.
I'm not going to say it's credible.
That'd make me feel better than thinking that the people who are controlling us have something to do with all this crap, you know what I mean? But
you think it's planned?
I don't know. I don't know that this necessarily was planned or whatever. It just definitely seems like the way that it's being handled is not the way that people would handle something in a chaotic time. It seems like someone who should care because it is their job to care about how their country is not caring the way that I would about it if I was in the same position.
I think my biggest pet peeve about this whole thing probably is when people put charts up and is like, cancer's killed 9 million people this year. Obviously, people. Like, come on. It's freaking cancer. This is coronavirus, a cold that is killing immunocompromised and older people.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to, like, I don't care if the media is hyping it up. Your grandmother with COPD could get it. Yeah. So, like, think about other people, you know?
Yeah. And specifically around here locally, and I am directly responding to comments that have been made locally about the hospital that I work at. It is not a hospital's responsibility to repeat to a news station or to the media. It is nobody's business but the CDC and the government, how many cases we've had in our hospital. And if folks spent more time worrying about how to stop spreading this garbage, literally the sickness, and spent less time spreading garbage and more time helping stop spread other kinds of garbage.
I saw on Facebook the other day where I think it was WTVY. They posted.
I saw
it's
it.
awful when they were like Southeast Medical Center has 150 confirmed cases. I don't know the number.
Mm-hmm.
Rival hospital, Flowers Hospital, only has 3. And then somebody was like, "This is not a competition.
Yeah.
Like this is not what y'all should be talking about."
Yeah, no, we should be.
It sounded like when
Yeah.
you read it, it sounds awful
Yeah,
the way they worded it.
And they've been doing that, and it's weird because like my whole life I've kind of just like trusted WTVY, you know, like I always go to them for information, but it just is. Why are they acting so weird about this? It's so
it's not a competition.
It's so freaking weird, bro.
The only competition was that Geneva County didn't have any people, and they just reported that there's one. So.
That's right. The only thing I'm worried about is if I'm going to heaven when I die. Do you know where you're going when you die?
Dude.
So it's a very weird way to encompass.
You may not be able to figure it out because the monopoly known as Walmart is open, but none of the churches are open. So
okay. So you recently moved from your apartment in an undisclosed location, and you're moving to another undisclosed location.
Yeah, man.
What made you want to go back to our hometown?
Grass.
Yeah.
You know, there's grass there that I can cut
Are you
myself.
talking about the guy that the grass that Scooter sells?
No.
Different. Oh, you mean like ground.
No need to name drop because I'm sure a lot of people know that name that he said. But
oh, I literally just made something up. If that was not on purpose, if Scooter does really sell drugs in Hartford. Bro, that just sounds like a drug dealer.
But just having my own yard and privacy.
Yeah. And
you know, the house, which my girlfriend's dad is very grateful to let me rent that house, but
for sure.
It's a really sick deal, man, because I got my own house, obviously. I got my own barn or whatever, which it's still his, obviously. I rent. But I get to utilize every bit of that.
Man.
At the apartment, I pretty much had my bedroom, you know.
Yeah.
And the kitchen. And my roommate was a great roommate. I just don't like having roommates.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There doesn't need to be a communal jerk off space. It's just a joke.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
know,
joke.
yeah.
I mean, it's a joke. Yeah.
But it's also good because pretty much, I mean, my best friends are right down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Ralphie and Luke and them live over there, and John Paul.
Oh, okay.
They all live in the house.
Dude, I thought John Paul lived in like Texas.
He lived in Georgia. He moved here roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. But it's nice. You got friends up the road all the time. I hadn't been able to see them because I've been busy with all this house stuff.
True.
But then I have my girlfriend's aunt and uncle, Sherry and Robin. You know, they told me if I ever get hungry, I can come eat. So you're the real MVP for real.
Yo, it's on record. You really said this.
But it's nice living on dirt road. You know?
Yeah,
it's
dude.
nice.
What do you think kept you from being able to make? Well, it doesn't matter. Ozark, your home. What do you think kept it from?
I love being close to everything. Like, work was 15 minutes away. And if you know Fort Rucker, you got to go through the gate and everything. And then this stage field, the airfields are a ways away from main post. Like, you're still on main post, but you're not in town.
Yeah.
So it takes 15 minutes, even though I was 5 minutes away from the gate.
That sucks.
And
dude.
then, so it was nice being close, but the part of town I was in was a good part of town. Like, my neighbor's really nice. There's just no room.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like Ozark. I'm in school there whenever I'm done with school. I don't plan on going back at all. So.
How are you still in school right now? How much longer do you have?
So this was my last semester, and everybody's online except for us. So my classes are heavy hands-on.
Dang, dude.
And we have so in one class, I have 3 practicals left to do, and then the other class is building my engine.
True.
And you can't do that online, obviously. So what they're doing is they went to online. They just stopped it unless you have homework left to do. And we're going back May 18th, and we're staying no later than June 12th. So I have 3 weeks to reassemble this engine that I've torn completely apart in 7 weeks.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah. And reassembly is way harder than disassembly.
I can imagine.
With anybody knows that taking something apart is easy, putting it back together is not.
Yeah.
So we don't have to run it or anything. We don't have to put it on a stand, but he has to spin it. We're going to put a prop on the end. He's got to spin it. And if it spins freely, then we're good. If there's any grinding or anything, you fail. So you failed the whole class. You can get to the 16th week,
dude.
and if he spins that thing and it's wrong, you're screwed. Which the parts that we're using, so say we have a bad part and it needs to be replaced, they have to replace it with a new part. But the turbine side of the school is so limited on money because turbines are very expensive. Commercial aviation is crazy expensive. We're reusing old parts that are broke too, just to make it seem like we're doing it, So you get in a habit of when you get a bad part, you're replacing it.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. I don't know.
And it's especially going to be weird with the apocalypse happening.
Yeah. Wallace I've heard, is debating on not even going back summer semester. They're just going to stay online during summer. And I don't know if that's finalized or not.
I heard that same
Fact check me. But if Wallace is doing it, there's no way we're going to be open.
Yeah.
There's no freaking way. No. So I don't know how it's going to work. This semester is my last semester. I'm not retaking a class that I've already been more than halfway done with. Yeah. That's stupid.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
So do you think that you want to stay in Hartford forever?
Forever.
You think so?
Yeah. I'd be willing to travel just in case, Full Rucker closes. Because, there's been rumors since, 2002 that they wanted to move the entire fleet to Arizona, Texas, wherever it is. Since 2002. It still hasn't happened yet. All my instructors, you can see my face. If you know who I am, a lot of them hate on Fort Rucker because they've been out there and they don't like how they operate. But it's why? And the government's dumb. The Army's dumb. So I question myself all the time, why would they move the entire fleet across the country? But they still say it's going to happen,
Yeah.
They know more than I do. So
yeah. Well, so if you stay in Hartford, and the only reason I know this is because, you're my best friend, you don't have any, real internet out there at all.
No.
Dude, what are you going to do?
So
hobby-wise.
Hobby-wise, I'll just go outside. So the hunting land that I hunt on, for deer, hogs, all that, is only 10 to 15 minutes away, which it was 40 minutes away. So if
That's
I ever
nice.
need to scout or make lanes to, drive the truck on or drive the four-wheeler on, or just to hunt, whenever I'm sitting in the stand and I can't physically see where I need to shoot at. So I'll just go out there, cut limbs and stuff like that. And, my girlfriend, she's 5 minutes away.
Which is
and
nice.
buddies are 5 minutes up the road. So I'll find something to do. I do plan on getting internet, though, just in case, football season or basketball season, I'd probably get Hulu Live just to get something.
Yeah.
But the internet is satellite internet's weird.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Mom has satellite internet now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So the plan is it's through Exceed. It's called Viasat or something.
That don't sound good.
And you can get up to 15 megabytes per second, which isn't bad for satellite.
Yeah.
That's all you would need to stream. For and that's up to 60 gigabytes of data because they run off data, and that's like $100 a month.
Mm.
That's a lot for some internet, man. Like Troy Cable.
That's more than I'm paying.
Yeah, Troy Cable at the apartment was $70 for 100 megabytes, unlimited. So
yeah, I thought I was gonna be sweet and let my neighbors use my internet, and they used up like 85% of my freaking internet. So
wait, yours has a cap?
yeah, I didn't realize it had a cap.
Oh, I didn't know there was a cap on cable.
Yeah, so I
God.
I paused them. I paused all their devices and then hid my name so that they think I turned it off. Because they're kind of hard to talk to. Well, they're nice people. It's just like they're trying to like cut a deal on it. I'm like, just get your own internet. Like,
it's not hard.
Yeah.
The installation fee may be kind of steep, but I'm sure there's already something installed.
Yeah. No, they don't use an installation fee here. You do it yourself.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do it yourself.
No, but I'm saying like
to get
say
it turned
there's
on.
never been internet there. Period. They have to like
there
run a
has
line
been.
to something.
Yeah.
So
If I have
unless
it,
this is all connected, I
it
don't
is.
know how apartments work.
It's all already
Okay.
wired up and stuff. So we're getting close to the end here, and I've got like one good question that I think is super appropriate since it's you. If you could say one thing to your younger self, what would you say?
So I love my job. And it helps me provide for whatever I need, but I would tell my younger self to do better in school. And like, this is so cliche, right?
Yeah.
But I would tell myself to do better in school and try harder in basketball. Like, don't just go out and play pickup. Like, work on specific things. But my dream job, I put it in the little quiz. It's sports analyst.
Yeah.
I love, like, I would want to be a Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman, somebody like that. That is my dream job, being surrounded by basketball, sports, football, everything.
Yeah.
So that, that's pretty much it, I think. What about you?
Honestly, like, questions like this hit me different than they did before everything happened to me. I've just had a lot of tragedy, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would probably just tell myself to take things as slow as I do now. Like, enjoy, like, even with girls that I dated when I was younger that I honestly kind of hate now. Like, even enjoy every day with them. Just because I was so much happier then. Just enjoy the time that I have with people that I'm not going to have forever. Mm-hmm. So, because, I fought with my dad a lot. And I would just tell myself to stop being a little pudding and go to the movies with your dad and eat Chinese until the last day I have with him.
Yeah.
Because, the last day I had with my dad was a really good day. I mean, we worked in the yard. I was pissed off the whole day. It's like, what? Yeah, wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning to work in the yard. The yard's going to run away, I guess, huh? Like, knowing I sleep till 12 every day.
The cold air is going to run away.
Yeah, that cold air. Yeah.
It is.
So, what's one thing that you got wrong about growing up, like being an adult?
Got wrong?
Yeah, what's one thing that you...
Like, one thing that I know now that was wrong, that I thought was wrong.
Yeah, like you thought you were gonna grow up and it was gonna be one way, and then it's not.
Well, when you're in like 7th or 8th grade, you think you're gonna have your entire life figured out by like 23, because you plan it out. Like, oh, I'm gonna be in school. Okay, I'll be 18. I'll go to university for 4 years. I'll be married the next year. Yeah. Like, at 23, no.
That's probably the same response I would have. Is that almost never, at least now, it works out the way that you thought it would. I mean, I'm probably the world's prophet for this itself. Because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and be a music, or I was gonna be an English teacher initially.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yikes! I mean, I'm good at English.
You'd be a funny teacher, though.
I know. I know this podcast hasn't been super funny, but I'll try and tell one good joke that I just remembered before we get off. And we're gonna do one thing that I'm gonna try and stay true to with every podcast. But when I was 18, I graduated. Then I went to college. I was in show choir. But then one day my dad died, and then my life got flipped and upside down. And if I had to get a minute, just sit right there.
Yeah, that's my show.
Yeah, I know. But it's just, that's probably the one thing that I would advise to younger people, man, is just try and do things the way that you think are best for you, but just know that it might not happen. You may get some girl pregnant, somebody that you care about might die and flip your world, or that job that you wanted may no longer exist, you know? Or you might fall in love and move to Ohio with Matt, you know? Yeah. So anyways, these 3 kids, right?
Oh, God.
These 3 kids they decide that they want to see who can sink a brick into the mud the deepest. So let's just say they're like 3 and 4 years old, so they can barely pick up a brick, right?
Okay.
So the winner gets a Tootsie Pop. So
What color?
red.
Okay.
Okay.
I would say grape, but okay, whatever.
Okay, great. What are you, high? So these 3 kids walk up to the curb, and they got a pile of mud in front of them. First kid picks up a brick, throws it as high as he can, sinks like that far, which is like, maybe like 3 inches into the mud.
Yeah.
Okay. Very familiar with this measurement. Second kid steps up, throws a brick up as high as he can, sinks like 6 inches into the mud. Third kid walks up, throws the brick up as high as he can, and okay, maybe that one didn't hit.
It didn't hit.
Okay, I guess you could say that joke flew over your head. Anyways, okay.
I was playing along with it. Obviously.
Okay. Seriously though. So there's an airplane full of people. Okay. I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying again. I'm gonna make you laugh for real. So there's an airplane full of people. These 2 people start arguing because a guy brought his dog onto the airplane, and this other woman, the woman brought her dog. Sorry, the woman brought her dog onto the airplane. Dog's barking, pissing everybody off. This other dude's smoking a cigar because he's so stressed out about the freaking dog barking. Okay, so the woman's like, "Can you please stop smoking in here? That smoke is bothering me and it's making my dog freak out." And he's like, "If your dog wasn't freaking out, I wouldn't be smoking this cigar." And the dude, thinking he's super smart, he's like, I've got more cigars. How about this? You throw your dog out the window and I'll throw my cigar out the window. And thinking I've got more cigars, he's like, "There's no way I can lose." And surprisingly, the woman says, "Okay." So let's just pretend like air pressure doesn't suck everyone out of the freaking airplane. So they open the window, and the dude throws his cigar out the window. The woman throws her dog out the window, and the dude doesn't even think. So she grabs it by the leash and pulls it back into the airplane. And guess what is in the freaking dog's mouth?
The cigar.
The brick. But anyways, guys,
That was good.
I'm going to make one rec, which is a recommendation, which is my one thing that I want to try and do. Do you have anything that you've been really into lately that you'd like to recommend for anybody listening to the podcast?
I'm not really... I haven't done anything really new.
Yeah, that's totally cool. You know, this was kind of like a spur of the moment
maybe
thing.
I can.
Huh? What is that?
What is it? What you got?
Honestly, and I know this is a little bit overdone right now, but if you have not watched Tiger King, genuinely watch it. Like, it is not
I have not hopped on that wave.
It's not a joke. It's not a meme. It will like right now. I want to watch it because I miss Joe Exotic. Like, and they're saying that he's gonna have a second season, even though he's in jail right now. Yeah. He's in prison. That's how the show starts. Is Joe Exotic gets arrested.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he's totally in jail.
Oh.
Yeah, like super jail. I don't know if that exists.
Like, he's not coming out.
No, but apparently he's got some information that may be leading to
Carol Baskins.
Dude, I went up to SI.
No clue. No, don't know who these people are.
Well, I know that we're about to end the podcast, but I do want to tell you about. I went up to SICU to get a patient yesterday, When I went up there, of course, I went to go get some hand sanitizer. Got it in my finger, scruffed something, and I was like, "What the heck is on this hand sanitizer?" And I looked up, and it's a picture of Carol Baskin squatted over.
No way.
People on the outside don't even care. Oh my freaking God! But
So one thing before we end it or whatever,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say it one more time. We respect everybody's hustle. Like we're not trying to
For sure.
copy anybody.
yeah,
So like we respect the hustle so much that we wanted to do it, which we do this anyways, just not in public. So
yeah, for sure.
that's all it is.
And I'm not really sure what the future is going to look like, if it's going to be my podcast or our podcast. I know that definitely for now, you're my first guest on the podcast that I created, which
Feels
is
so
called
special.
the Mellow Podcast. But I wish that I had some fancy fade out. But honestly, we're really just duct taping this thing together. But we appreciate everybody stopping by and coming into my home just for a little while and listening to my best friend and I chat for a little bit. And until then, we will see you next time.
Catch you later.
Yes, sir. All right. So anyways.